All right. So, what is your name and what do you do?
My name is Sarah. I do music stuff under my main project, I would say, is Elizabeth Whitington or Whittington. Either one works. I've heard it said mainly as Whittington, but I misspelled it, so it's like Whitington, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's Elizabeth Whitington, Enjoy Hell Bob Saget, Versace Casio Tone. I process the parts that make me weak, and I realize they're entirely ingrained into who I am. I have a lot of projects, and a lot of them are just like assorted on Bandcamp somewhere. So I mean, I don't know. I'm mainly being interviewed as Elizabeth Whitington, though, I guess, or Enjoy Her Bob
Yeah.
Saget.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just wondering, do you know how many projects you do have? Like how
I
many names you released under or have made things under?
I honestly don't. I never really like. I think I tried to like take count at some point. Like I would always like list off whenever I would release something, but then I just kind of forgot. Like I just sort of stopped doing it because I forgot. But I actually don't know how many like names I've released stuff under because I just know that there's a lot of them. But one of these days I'll make like a full comprehensive list. But as of right now, I'm sort of in the dark as well.
I think I saw you reposted somebody. Somebody got close to a near comprehensive list, but was missing like a
Yeah.
few, you said?
There was this person, I'm pretty sure, unsocialized band, uh, Google, not Google. They made this like iPhone Notes app thing where it was like all the Sarah odd member projects I could find, and it was it was honestly they got a lot of stuff that I was not expecting them to get.
There
Yeah, they
was a
got a lot.
lot of stuff on that list.
Yeah, it was a lot of shit. They did kind of they missed but they also missed like a few things. But honestly, with the amount of shit that I make, like it's just nitpicking at this point to be like, oh hey, you missed this one thing. I only released one thing under and then never used ever again. Like it's just like my discography is like all over the place pretty much. And
Mhm.
I guess it's sort of by design because I always wanted to be like an artist where like I don't know, I could like release a shit ton of stuff under different names just to like I don't know, break off from like the expectations I have of different projects. But um yeah, I guess I it that list was like really close in a lot of what it's listed, but there are still a few that I have not seen many people look upon.
Do you think people are going to get them all? Or are there
Um,
some that are like so anonymous? Because I know, like, personally, me, I've done projects that, like, by the time I was already like semi known by a lot of people for various music things, I
yeah.
was like, I don't want this connected to me. So, like, I did it fully anonymous. Or, like, there have been like projects from other people that I've helped on a lot or like featured on almost
Mm.
and like told them I don't want credit for this. So like nobody knows that a chunk of that is just me. But like
Yeah.
it is any of it like that? Like where it's just never
Um,
gonna happen?
there are like a few projects that I would be like completely fucking gobsmacked if anyone found. Nothing I would say that I'm too embarrassed about per se. I don't know. I'm a big fan of like having lost media be found or like media that nobody's really heard before, like just be put out in the open for anyone to find. So I have not really like I have not released anything that I have then taken down, but yeah, there are a few projects that's like I don't know. A lot of my music kind of I have a fear that a lot of my music is sounding the same because I like do a lot of like Chromebook, just standard like Chromebook shit, but I don't know. I think if you were to hear any of these projects, you would probably know it's me, but for the most part, it's just kind of I don't know. They're pretty well hidden, I would say.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to a full comprehensive list one day. And
Yeah.
then I could listen through maybe them all, although it does seem like a lot.
It is I don't blame anybody for like not listening to my entire discography because like it's just a lot of shit. Yeah, I if you if it is okay if you're not a complete Sarah Sad Girl aficionado, I completely understand.
Makes you a poser if you don't know every single project.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I do look down upon you like intellectually, but it's okay. Yeah.
Right. So, first thing I really wanted to ask was
Yeah.
like, what does the name Elizabeth Whitington mean? Because you just mentioned that like you misspelled it or something.
Oh yeah,
Is it like
yeah,
a reference to something or like?
yeah. So I mean, I've told the story a few times, but it's like I don't know. I'm trying to get better at like telling it because I feel like I like stammer on too much when I say it. But it's like I don't know. Around like 2020, I was doing I like 2020, 2021. I decided I was going to make like an album for my art class for like art class credits because I can't draw for shit. So I was like, hey, is it fine if I just like make an album? I don't know. I was really inspired by like how Mitski and like Ariel Pink like did most of their shit. Where like some of their albums were
Hmm.
like they did them as like projects in college. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make an album for art credits because yeah, it seems fun. I do more music than I do draw, so it's cool. And at the time, I was first starting to like really get like major. I don't know. It was when I was like getting majorly depressed for like the first time ever. Well, not like the first time ever, but like it was to a point where it was actually like it was actively like stopping me from doing stuff and like I don't know. It became rough, I guess. But I don't know. I guess for some reason I took up walking. I would just walk everywhere. And one of these times I was walking, it was like sort of like around it's like around 6 or 7 towards like it's getting dark, but it's there's still like sun out. And I live near a 7-Eleven, and I when I was walking past, I saw like this roadside memorial sort of thing written on like the back of a cardboard beer can, like a cardboard beer like holder, and it was to a person named Elizabeth Whittington. And I didn't know much about it when I saw it, but when I looked it up, when I looked it up, it was a girl named Elizabeth Whittington, and she was hit by a car near that 7-Eleven on the crosswalk because she crossed before it was her time to cross, and she got hit by a truck. And uh,
Jesus.
yeah, it's some real weak shit, and I don't know. I didn't know that at the time, but like while I was making this album for like art credits, I didn't know what name I was going to release it under. I think I probably would have just released it under like my dead name, but like I don't know. I when I saw that roadside memorial, I don't know. I don't know why I was so affected by that, but I just went home and I decided that I was going to release it under Elizabeth Whitington. I, but the thing is that why I misspelled it is because I didn't see that there were two T's there, and the real girl's name is Elizabeth Whittington, but I misspelled
Oh,
it as only one T. And I mean, I don't know. I I sort of decided to keep the misspelling because, like, I don't know, quirky Sylvia Plath Chris is weird moment, but also like I don't know. It's kind of weird writing a fine line between like I don't know. I don't want to disrespect the dead, and I do really like. I don't want to like. Oh, I'm gonna take this fucking tragedy and I'm just gonna turn it into like my like the project name for my shitty noise pop album. And it's like I don't know. I want it to be as respectful as possible. But I mean, so when I saw that I misspelled it, I was like, I'm not gonna correct it because that would just be fucked if I were to just take the name of this dead person. I guess it was sort of like a blessing in disguise that I misspelled it.
I was
And
gonna say exactly that. It kind of like solved a problem ahead of the curve. That makes sense.
yeah, like, and I mean, my Bandcamp description and like my descriptions for my music before were, it was from the actual like post I found on online that was the mother of Elizabeth Whittington talking about how like yeah it wasn't her turn to cross and she got hit by a truck and shit. And I don't know, it felt really fucked up using somebody's like pain and trauma as like quirky little description. So I deleted that, and so now it's sort of just uh she got distracted and got lost in her own head. That was a part of the thing, but I just sort of scrubbed the rest of it because it didn't feel respectful. I don't know. I
Hmm.
guess when I tell this story of like the slow feeling of like maybe this was a bad thing to do was like not like the interview, but like naming my project after like a dead person. I don't know. Like, although I do have a project named Enjoy Hell Bob Saget, so why am I why what the fuck am I talking about being
Oh,
respectful?
yeah, I mean Bob Saget. I hope he does not enjoy hell. Actually,
Well, I
I,
mean,
I
I,
hope that's a miserable
yeah,
death.
fuck Bob Saget. He was weird to the Olsen twins. Fuck him.
Fuck that guy. Um, but yeah, I mean, live and learn. Not much you can
Yeah,
kind of do it about it at this point, other than what you're doing, which is just trying to keep in mind that like
yeah. Like
that
I'm
was
trying
a
to.
person. You know,
Yeah, like at this point, I'm trying to, for the most part, if it's when it's not like down to the name or like the description, I try to distance myself from the actual like girl and the actual event as much as possible, so I can like show respect and not be a complete shithead. But
yeah,
yeah,
makes
but
sense.
that's where the name Elizabeth Whitington comes from, pretty much.
It was a way more interesting answer than I thought I was gonna get. Way
Oh
more.
yeah, I probably could have just skirted by saying like I found it in a dream somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate the honesty. That's
Oh yeah, like any and all questions are fine. I don't really feel like I have not ever been asked a question about my music that has ever made me feel like uncomfortable or like I didn't want to answer it. I have this is like one of my first interviews about like exclusively like Elizabeth Whitington related. So it's sort of like weird to finally be able to talk about this stuff with like a person who's asking for it, not just me rambling on at like 2 a.m. But yeah,
mhm,
like any and all questions are fine. I'm just sort of like, I don't know. I like talking about my music, even though my opinion of my own music changes like super like often.
right on.
You,
Cool. Speaking of Elizabeth Whitington, there's been, I mean, the entire time really that I've known you, and it seems like for a while before that, you've been in the process of working on LP2, which is not
yes,
the second LP, but it's like the second
it
main
is.
focus chronologically, to the best of my
Yeah,
knowledge, right?
it is. LP2 is. I don't consider. I released a. Yeah, like I released another thing a few months ago called "Making a More Consistent Spiral,"
Which is
and
a great album, and everyone should listen to that. It's one of my favorite things I have heard this year, and it's really good.
thank you.
But continue.
Yeah, it's but yeah, I released Making a More Consistent Spiral, and I mean, I don't really consider that LP2 because I don't know. I was my music before, like for the album I made for like my art credits was Quiet Pop Songs, and that one was like a lot more influenced by like Starry Cat and teens, not like and not like the like rough teen suicide shit, more like the softer like shit. And I don't know. I guess it was like a giant Starry Cat worship album pretty much. And I
You
don't
can
know.
hear that, definitely.
Yeah, like you definitely can notice that it's like hugely influenced by like Sam Rae's body of work, which I guess like most of my stuff is. But I guess like as like the more I made shit under like a bunch of different names, I don't know. I didn't want to just like become another like Sam Rae like rip off sort of artist. I wanted to sort of like branch out with what I could make. And so I don't know. I got more into like I was getting more into like the fifth wave sort of like scene as well. So it was sort of like I I don't know, just like making lo-fi bedroom pop stuff wasn't really appealing to me anymore. Even though I love that like genre of music, I just didn't really feel like it didn't I don't know, I didn't just want to keep making that for the rest of my life. So I don't know. I guess right now I've sort of moved on to claustrophobia pop, which is 100% a real genre.
Give me,
Real.
give me your description of claustrophobia pop. I'd love to hear
Okay.
it.
Yeah, my description of actually, yeah, I guess I haven't really given my own description of claustrophobia pop. I guess I mean I coined the term on Twitter. Like I would find the tweet, but it's on a deleted I got banned on off Twitter because I told George Not Found to kill himself. But
Nice.
thank you. But basically, claustrophobia pop to me is like it's a sort of mix of like a lot of different genres, like noise pop and like just noise music and emo and shit like that. Like it can be mixed with like a bunch of different genres, but the main thing about it is the mixing. And I don't know, I've always mixed stuff. Like my mixing process is basically I mix every song like it's a demo, and then I just never finish it. Like the demo version is the finished version. And so I don't know, it's a very slapdash way of like mixing shit. I don't really put a lot of thought into it, but um I don't know. When you do that, it's sort of all of my songs I saw that like ended up becoming like very boxed in and distorted, which like I've always been interested in like the more noisier sides of like music and shit, and so I don't know. I didn't see it as like a problem, but then I was like, you know what? I'm going to honor thy air as hidden intention, I guess, and I just sort of coined claustrophobia pop as like it's like super boxed in, like mixing wise, like it's super. I don't know. Like it can be like it's sort of like trying to ride the line between like a like sprawling but also very like claustrophobic and like boxed in. That's why it's called
Hmm.
like claustrophobia pop. And so I don't know. I guess my definition of claustrophobia pop is I don't know. I guess it's just sort of uh yeah, I don't know really. I guess I'm not really good at like describing things, I guess, but I don't know. It's if you're a big fan of like I don't know, like nouns or like teen suicide, but you thought like, wait, what if this was more unlistenable and extreme than claustrophobia pop? Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like claustrophobia pop to me, the way I've always talked about it to people would be like kind of like a nice middle ground between noise pop and like what people consider outsider music, you know?
Oh yeah.
So it's like
That is.
like Weather Day meets rock and roll McDonald's or whatever.
Yeah. I guess that is a really good way of looking at it. Like I guess I don't know. Maybe in the future we'll be looked upon like how people look at like Daniel Johnston and like Wesley Willis, how people look at them now. But I mean, I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
that is a really good. I do like that description.
because
Yeah, it's
like
like
one thing that's pretty consistent that I've noticed is just very unconventional songwriting, which I
yeah,
love. I try to put that in my own music a lot, but yeah, it's just
yeah,
very odd song forms that don't really make a lot of sense conventionally, but sound really fucking cool. And a lot of bleep loops,
yes, like a
a
lot
lot
of
of compression, especially on your stuff. Lots of compression.
yeah, lots of compression and like bit crush, like keyboard shit, and yeah, a lot of lyrical. I don't know. I at least personally for me, a lot of the lyrical content is more darker than like a lot of the shit that I was writing before. Because like I don't know if you compare like a lot of the lyrics on making a more consistent spiral to quiet pop songs, it's a very clear like shift in like because like with quiet pop songs because I made it as like a school project. I didn't want to be too forthcoming with like a lot of the problems I was dealing with because like I don't know, I don't want motherfuckers like trying to see if I need help just because I made an album. So I sort of tried to be more vague about it, like giving off like the feeling of like depression and not knowing how to do like anything instead of like outright telling people like this song is about depression. But like I don't know, like comparing quiet pop songs to like I don't know, something like the lyrics on like Face or The Only Monster on the Island of Lesbos is it's a very telling change in what I want it to how I want to write because I don't know. I tried to write in metaphors and shit and like I don't know. I tried being Will Toledo and it just didn't really work out for me. So I decided that I was just gonna say fuck it to that and just write whatever I wanted to write, no matter what. And yeah, I guess that's my I don't know. So a lot of the writing style of like depth pop artists and like claustrophobia pop artists are very sort of all over the place, which I really love about this scene of music, just because it's like, I don't know, write about whatever you want to write. It's just sort of, I don't know, it's fun.
hmm And I do think, well, like first off, I remember listening to your first album, the first Elizabeth Whitington album, for the first time,
Yeah.
and checking out the lyrics with it, and I knew that it was a school project going into that, and being
Mm.
like, even though, yeah, I do see what you mean that you were like trying to like play it cool a little bit. I
Yeah.
still remember being like, damn, you said that for like school. Like,
Yeah.
I do still think you like went a lot harder than most people would have, and but you're right, it is kind of subtle, and it I think it makes it quite beautiful. Um,
Yeah, like like I don't know. I guess most people wouldn't write motherfucker equals redeemer as a school project sort of thing, which
right.
I don't know why I just said. I think I was just saying shit at that part. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just really like that Godspeed You Black Emperor song. Very good.
hmm
Yeah. But I guess it is sort of like more like more involved than what most school projects end up being, I guess. Yeah.
Definitely. But going back to we keep getting very sidetracked, which is okay. It's just funny.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, LP2.
yeah. What goals do you have for that? Really?
Um I guess I don't know really. I guess it's been a while since like uh it's been a while since I've released something under Elizabeth Whitington that I feel like every time I release something under Elizabeth Whitington that's not LP2, I feel like I don't know. I feel like because I've been like hyping this shit up and like doing like announcements for this shit since like 2021. Like ever since I like finished Quiet Pop Songs and I released it, I knew that I wanted to make more music like this. But it's LP2's gone through like so many different versions. Like first it was just gonna be like the first edition of it, it was just gonna be like quiet pop songs where I was gonna like make this album in a week. But then I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm able to do that anymore. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. I was gonna take my time with it. So it's gone from like lo-fi bedroom pop shit to like a more like shoegaze inspired stuff to I don't know, post rock shit. And I guess a lot of what LP2 is sort of like splitting the difference between a lot of the shit I've been listening to and sort of melding them together into like my own little thing, I guess. And but yeah, I guess one of the goals is to just uh make something people like, I guess. Which I mean, I don't know. I know that like I always say like whenever people like talk about like the vent channel in like depth chord, it's like you should always be making music for yourself, and I do believe that. But personally, for me, like I want people to I want this album to feel like it took like 2 years to make. I don't know. I don't want it to seem like an album that somebody could just make in a week and just shit out onto a Bandcamp page. I want this to feel like I want people to feel the time and the energy and the emotion in a lot of what I was like going through at the time of writing because LP2 is just a giant like event journal. Like it's a giant like it's a I almost said it was a giant shit post. It's not a shit post. It's a giant like event post pretty much just stretched out over like 21 tracks and it's I don't know, it's very intense a lot of the time and it's yeah, it's very rarely are there any spots where it's sort of like getting better or happiness. So I don't know. It's not my intention to make like a super depressing album. I don't know. I don't want to like I don't know. I don't want to I've my main fear is getting lumped in with like fucking Instagram meme Radiohead equals sad, The Strokes equals sad fucking Instagram pages. Like that type of like core of music. I don't
hmm
know. I don't want to like be typecast into that, but it is it is definitely a rough listen. If not for the lyrical content, then just the runtime. But
Yeah.
yeah, like so I guess one of my goals is I don't know, it feels like it feels like it was worth the wait to people. And I don't know, I guess writing music has it's not really like therapy to me because like I don't feel any like better or worse when I write songs. I just sort of write it and then it just exists as it is. So I guess I can't really say it'd be like therapeutic for me to release this, but it would I don't know. It will feel nice to finally know that this is out and that people can finally listen to it and give their own opinions on it. And I hope people like it. And if they don't, that's also fine as well. That's fair. Uh, but yeah, I guess those are a few of my goals. And I really should start calling it by its actual name, not than just LP2. The album is like officially called We're Still the Same If Not Minorly Fucked, which I think that was a lyric from a song that is actually now cut from the album. But it'll show I'm probably just gonna release like a B-sides thing like in a month later after the album drops. But it's like it's I don't know, a lot of the lyrical content has to do with like being outside of being outside of something like being outside being getting able to witness people make connections and fall in love and like getting to see that but like not being able to do that yourself. It's a I don't know, I guess it's like a lot of lyrical content about being more of like a bystander in your own life into other people's lives than being more as involved as you want to be, but also deluding yourself into thinking that, you know, you could totally do this if you wanted to. And I don't know, it's very scattered like mentally. Yeah, it's like very scattered mentally and like lyrically and shit like that. But yeah, a lot of lyrical content has to do with that sort of shit. And so what was the question again? I'm so sorry. I went to the fucking.
I was well, I really enjoyed all of because I was you would say things and I would be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna like ask this question next, and then you would just answer the question. So
Oh yeah.
thank you for expanding on all of that. I was just asking what goals you had for the
Oh yeah.
album.
So I guess my so goal number one, it feels like it was worth the wait for two people. Goal number two, I get to say all I want to say. Uh, Goal number three is 5-star rating on Rate Your Music. Don't put my music on Rate Your. This is a this is a message to any motherfucker that puts me on Rate Your Music. Fuck you. You are not a fan of mine. I am just even though I do not like Rate Your Music as a website, I have no problem with my music being up there. Don't worry, I'm not joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I almost said I'm not joking. Fuck. I am
Death Pop
joking.
is very rate your music centered. Like the people who listen to it also happen to be on rate your music a lot, which I think
It's a real
but
shame.
I just think it's like a natural consequence of like the people that we gotta cater to, which are just like very online people.
Yeah, I guess we sort of that's a rod we've made for our own back, I guess. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't really mind most like Rate Your Music users for the most part. I don't know. It's just the whole vibe of Rate Your Music has always been like pretentious. This 5 second part has bad mixing, so this entire album is getting moved like 3 stars. Fucking like I don't know. I'm very anti like audiophile, I guess, and like anti like I don't know, like just for this part, just put up that image of like I love this song, but ooh the mixing, I can't stand the mixing. That's to me that's like Rate Your Music. That's Rate Your Music core like people, and
yeah.
I think that shit's bullshit. If a I don't know, I've always been in the mindset of like if a song's good, if a song is good then the song's good. I don't care if it's like recorded on like top shelf equipment or if it was recorded on like a fucking flip phone. If the song is good, it will come out no matter how fucked the music quality is. But I guess to the people that like I don't know actually give a shit about like mixing and mastering and stuff like that, I don't know. I don't really give a shit about that sort of stuff, but I don't know. You can enjoy that stuff if you're an audiophile, it's fine. But it's just don't be annoying about it. And it just so happens that a lot of Rate Your Music listeners are annoying about it. And I guess that's sort of where the stigma comes from, at least for me. That
I
like yeah, it's like very annoying.
yeah, I agree. And personally, as someone who like is more, I don't want to put this like rudely, but versed in like real life punk scenes.
Yeah,
Seeing how that's portrayed on like Rate Your Music in such like an objective way is like that's not, I don't know.
yeah, I hear you,
It's
man.
weird. It's weird. It's not accurate, but yeah, that's the website. Um, but yeah, good goals. I'm very
Yeah.
excited to hear it. Hearing the length of it makes me very excited. Hearing that there are going to be B-sides makes me even more excited. Um, do you know when about you're trying to get it out, or
I would like to get it out by the end of this year. I mean, a lot of what I have to work on right now is just going back and like adding a few like extra things and also working on the last track on the album. And the last track is very important to me because it's going to be like its own mini album. Basically like what Afterlife Dating did with Vesuvius, where like it's just two tracks, but one of the tracks is like 42 minutes long. I want to do something like that, but for my last track on an already too long album. And I don't know, the entire album is just a test of endurance, pretty much. It's like, can you make it past like 2 hours of this shit? I'm just gonna add like 45 more minutes of music just to spite you. But yeah, I guess it's sort of like I don't know. That song is gonna be like the absolute. Anytime I release something or like I make it like a full album, I want the last song to feel like if I were to just say this is it, I'm ending this fucking project right now. I want the last track to be like I don't know, it to be something that's like it feels like the last track. I don't know, I want every track on everything I ever make to feel like it could be the last track to that project or like the last track to an album. I want it to feel final and not like, there should be more.
absolutely, yeah. Do you think this will be the last of Elizabeth
Um,
Whitington?
I've sort of joked around about it, saying that yeah, this is gonna be like the last one, but uh, I don't know really. I always say that like I'm done making music and like I don't know, I'm fucking shit, and that I'm gonna stop doing it, and then a week later I make like four demos in one sitting, and I don't know. I guess it's just sort of like for as of right now, I feel like if not like if not ending the project, I'm going on a massive fucking hiatus. Like I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it'll be like a normal hiatus or emo hiatus where I basically just like don't release anything under it again, but just say I'm on hiatus. But I
Hmm.
don't know. I guess it just sort of depends on how I feel at the end of everything. But for the most, as of right now, I feel like yeah, this will definitely be the end of Elizabeth Whitington. But I don't know.
I'm sure whatever happens after will be just as good, if not better. You know,
Yeah,
I I
yeah,
don't see you not making music, which is the important thing because you're
yeah,
very good at it, and I want to hear more.
yeah. I feel like I'll always be doing something like that's music centric, no matter what like project name I use.
Definitely. Is there a project of yours that you're most proud of, other than Elizabeth Whitington, obviously, because that seems to be kind of the main thing for you. As we
Yeah,
discussed earlier, there's like a bajillion others. So, is there one that you're most proud of, or one that you wish more people give it to?
oh yeah. I mean, sorry. I have a few projects like that, I guess. I guess the second one I'm most proud of is uh shit. I guess I mean, recently I saw that Enjoy Hell Bob Saget was getting like a lot more eyes on it, it was very weird seeing that because like I added it to streaming, so it's like easier to access, but I did not think anyone would actually go for it because it's a lot more rudimentary than like Elizabeth Whitington. Like there's no like crazy mixing or like key or like massive like keyboard hook shit. It's just sort of like I don't know. It's like me and guitar and just whatever I felt like saying. So I guess it's just sort of more I don't know. It's somehow more like raw in a pretentious sense. Yeah, to be pretentious, it's more raw than
No,
Elizabeth
it,
Whitington, I guess, in like recording sense. But
that's not really
like,
pretentious. It just kind of is, you know. That would be a way I would describe it. It's just,
yeah, I guess
more bare bones and like straight to the point with what you're trying to say.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Seeing that project get as I mean, it's not like massive yet. It's not like Elizabeth Whitington levels, but like it's like a few people have told me that they find some good shit in it, which is really weird to me. But I appreciate anybody who finds anything out of my music. If I ever say something like, "Why would you ever listen to my music?" and I'm gonna kill you, just know that I'm joking. For the most part, and I thank you for listening to my music. It means a whole lot to me as a person who was making like shitty noise tracks at 12, thinking nobody was gonna listen to my shit to now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Is there one that you do think deserves more attention at all?
Um.
Not in like a I deserve things kind of way, but more just like I
Yeah.
feel
Like.
like people missed out on this kind of.
I guess I have a few projects like that, but the one that I can think of right now is Neurotics, which is its own sort of shit. Neurotics was, to keep it like really short, Neurotics was a band that I was in like in middle school, and it was like your like average shitty middle school band sort of affair. But during lockdown we broke up because it was sort of like, I don't know, uh we decided like, we can't even get together to record or release anything, so let's just end the band. So it was a very mutual split. But then I don't know, that was when I sort of started taking music more seriously, and like, I don't know, I wanted to make something cool. So I was like, hey, is it cool if I just sort of nab the Neurotics sort of like name and just release some dumb shit on it? And then everyone was like cool with it. So I made a I made a lot of shit under that project. A lot of it was sort of like you could see like the origins of the Elizabeth Whitington sound there, but it's sort of still rudimentary, I guess. Like I don't know. I released the demo, a split I did that was actually a fake split, and it was just another project name I came up with. It was a fake split. We have yeah, and just like another EP, an EP. They're like hold on, let me check. They're like one, two, three, four, five. They're like five EPs and only one album, I would say, that's like an official album. Yeah, like only one official album, which is the one that I feel like people should listen to if they have not already. It's called Bunny Blood, and um I made it at a time where I was I don't know, I had recently gone I recently like I had recently at the time of recording that gotten out of a relationship with a person that meant a lot to me. So I guess that entire album is basically like if I made Twin Fantasy. That's my Twin Fantasy pretty much, where it's just an entire album based around like that relationship and my thoughts of like post breakup and like shit like that. I don't know. It sounds very corny saying it out loud, but it's sort of like but yeah, I don't know. It's like it's a loose concept album, I guess. But I feel like, if you like Elizabeth Whitington and you want to see like the origins of that sort of sound, or like when I decided, I want to like go more into this direction, then I would say it's a pretty good listen. I don't know, like every few months I remember that it exists and I listen to it, and I at for being like for being like that young when I made it, I do sort of still I think it's pretty good.
And where can you listen to that?
Oh, you can find it on neuroticsaredead.bandcamp.com. It is, yeah, that, and you can also find all the rest of the EPs, and you can actually find some old demos from when we were an actual band, and those are those are I don't condone those.
Their demos.
Yeah, they are very, very rough iPhone ass recordings.
Those are
But
the
yeah,
best. I live for that shit. Those
oh yeah,
I've spent time like messaging bands I like on Instagram, being like, "Do you have any iPhone demos?
oh
Love to
yeah,
hear them." It's just different. I don't know. It's a cool inside perspective kind of thing.
yeah. Like I mean, I record a lot of my shit on like iPhone voice memos, and then I just email them back to myself so I can access them on the computer. But like, there are a lot of like demos for Elizabeth Whitington songs that just never really made it outside of that sort of phase. I just sort of I either forgot how to play them or I didn't feel interested enough to like pursue it ever again. But yeah, I guess it is sort of cool to like see an artist that you like and sort of seeing something that they seeing like scrapped ideas and coming up with your own sort of like headcanon as to what it would be if it like got past the demo phase is sort of it's always fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, okay. Well, is there is there anything else you'd like to say about Elizabeth Whitington, the album, anything like
Um,
that?
I would say if you ever listen to the album, thank you. And if you're listening to this like in 5 years and you're doing like a depth documentary and you want like a big closing a big closing moment for the credits, I would say uh thank you. I really hope that comes through on the correct spot.
I hope that comes on the recording. I can
If
add something
yeah,
similar enough.
if this doesn't come through on the Craig bot, I push the but to the sound on Discord. So yeah,
Beautiful. I look forward to hearing that in a documentary about
I
us
I
someday.
I hope so.
Speaking of Def Pop, that's kind of what I want to get into. I realized when we were introducing you, we didn't really touch on the fact that you like made Def Pop.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I'm a co-founder with Sam and Summer.
yeah, kind of a big deal, as especially right now.
Yeah.
What made you want to co-found Def Pop?
Um, well, I mean, I guess it was just sort of like I did see that Sam already told the story of like how Def Pop formed, like it was a split that just turned into a like collective shit, and then now we're here.
Right.
But I guess one of my reasons for wanting to start Def Pop is like I don't know. I mean, I did mention that like I was around like 12 making like noise tracks on my Chromebook that are like completely fucking terrible. But I don't know, I always wanted to be a part of like a community that embraced the more noisier sides of like songs and like people who, not that like I'm totally against like super like hi-fi recordings. Like if your music's hi-fi, that's great. Like again, a song is a song. A good song is a good song. But it's like personally for me, I've always gravitated towards the more like demo shit. Like I don't know,
Hmm.
my favorite version of Twin Fantasy is Mirror to Mirror. Basically, I just like the yeah that's basically as blunt as I can put it. Pretty much, my favorite version of Twin Fantasy is Mirror to Mirror, and yeah. So I guess I always like yeah I always wanted to be a part of a community that also felt that way, and wanted to make more like weirdo loud shit. And I thought I would never really find that community until I don't know. And then I did one day, and we all sort of now we're here with like I don't know. It's so weird seeing like dev pop as like in the form it is today, and like how people actually like know us and like us and like recognize us as like a real last like DIY sort of subculture label. And like we have like I don't know, we have like people in the DIY scene like talking about us like I don't know, like I mean Bright Little Stars said in like the depth talk that they did that at this point we're sort of like a core, like a real actual like thing now, which is
Hmm.
very weird. It's very weird to think about. Not weird as in like a bad way, but weird as in like I don't know, it's surreal, I guess. And it's also surreal to see that like our music is inspiring people to go out and make their own like weird noisy shit. That's like I always said when I was younger, like I don't know, I don't want to be famous. I don't want to like I don't want to get completely famous off my music. I do want my music to be heard and listened to and enjoyed, but that's its own sort of thing. But my main goal is like if someone listens to my album or anything I make and says like this is cool, and then goes out and makes their own music inspired by like what I've done, then I've succeeded. I don't need any like money or shit like that. If I can inspire people to make their own shit, then I've already like that's that's peak to me. And surprisingly it has happened, which is I don't know. It's very cool to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it happened with me in ways. I'd say like after getting into the because I was making Poorly Wrote before I was aware of Elizabeth Whitington, but after
Yeah.
listening to your stuff, it definitely, I think, really lyrically, like I don't know, like they're just certain songs where you really, I don't know, go above and beyond what I would expect from somebody in this genre or what I usually see in the genre is a better way of putting it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. But I also yeah, I feel that way. It's cool to hear people being like sometimes people send me demos and they're like, "Yo, you made me want to do this." And that's probably the best feeling in the world, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like I don't know. I'm a big fan of the deaf pop community that y'all have fostered. It's very collaborative and friendly,
Yes,
which is
I
like,
that is also that's like another thing that I did like I didn't want like Death Pop to become. I did not want Death Pop to become like a clique. Like I didn't want
hmm
it I didn't want to feel like, oh, like we're super gatekeepy around shit and like I don't I wanted to feel like anyone could I want us to feel approachable, I guess. And like I guess that comes from like how I felt when I was first getting to like the fifth wave emo scene where like everyone felt so alien to me. Like I felt like I was joining a massive friend group, except like I didn't talk to anybody and I didn't know how to talk to anybody, so I was just sort of like lurking. But so I guess for with like Death Pop, I want to feel like you can come up to us, you can DM us out of nowhere, and I'll probably just like send you a random image on my phone or some shit. Like I want us to be like very approachable and sort of anti click, I guess.
yeah, one thing that struck me as very cool early on from Def Pop is just like if you're a fan of the music and you're like really into it, it's pretty easy to just join the Def Pop Discord and then you could just talk to anybody
Yeah, like
who's a
we're
part of the
all
collective. You know?
we're all very I don't know. On the depth chord, I sort of my role in depth pop is basically like I'm the person where if we have a really good if like let's say we have like $1 million deal on the table, I would probably like send a weird image or say some shit that would get us immediately retracted. Where my role is basically like I start shit in the depth chord because I have a problem. So I guess, yeah, like, but besides that, a lot of us in Depthcore are like pretty normal and we're pretty like nice, yeah, very nice people.
A lot of us in Deathcore are pretty normal.
Yeah, you know what? After I said that, it didn't feel right. But you know what? It's we are very a lot of the people I've met in Depthcore are some of the nicest and most fucking like chill, down to earth people I've ever met.
hmm
Yeah, and that's no bias coming from me. Like I'm being 100% real. We're all pretty like approachable, normal people. So I guess
Yeah.
yeah, if you ever want to like join the Def Chord or you know, we're always available. And most like Def Pop collective members like they started out as just like people that sort of were just in the Def Chord and then just started talking to a lot of us. Chris is basically like our mascot, like our unofficial mascot now. And yeah, like I don't know, like none of us knew Chris before like they joined. They were just like yeah, they just joined and like they started talking with us more and now now they make like Summer of 2019 and they're a big part of Depth Pop definitely. I would say that. They're integral. And
Yeah.
not that like they're any like non-integral pieces to Depth Pop, but like Chris Chris has become like like a just like a no, like a random person in deathcore to like one of the like mascots of like death pop as a whole, and I think that's very funny.
Yeah, Chris, it's always so cool that that happened, and then Chris made everything I've ever wanted, which is like such an odd release in bedroom screamo, but it's so fucking good, and it's like I don't know, like I listen to some of those songs. I'm like, what the fuck were you even thinking? But like, I'm glad
Yeah,
they were thinking that because it came
yeah,
out
like
really cool.
that's another part of like death pop that I really love. Like we're all like making insane shit. Like it's like I listen to I don't know, we could probably like censor this in like if in the release version, but I listened to the new Salem's Griddless album, The Lion Who Shot Back. She sent me the files. And I don't know. I know something's good when I feel like I don't want to make music after listening to it. That's
Oh my
that's how
god,
I
that album is so good. I also
that's
heard it.
yeah, that's how I know
Oh
that
my god.
like I had that reaction like when I heard self-titled. I had the reaction when I heard Everything I've Ever Wanted. Maybe I just really hate making music, but I like everyone in Def Pop pushes like fuels me to make better shit. Like after listening to like self-titled and then Everything I've Ever Wanted, I was like, you know what? I need to make something good. I need to make something on this level. And it's and like since like a bunch of shit is releasing like all the time, constantly, it's always like I don't know. It's always like a not really like a race to be better than people because I don't know. I don't really want to be like that's a sort of like a weird thing to say to people like you push me to make music so I can be better than you. Like no. But it's like they push me to be more creative and to be more out there with my ideas. And yeah, I guess it's like I don't know. Stuff like yeah, stuff like Poorly Wrote is like amazing and it's fucking insane and it's really it's really pushed me to make cool shit like you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's yeah, that's Def Pop just seems to be very I said collaborative, and I guess that's like intentional in the ways that like yeah, a lot of people feature on each other's stuff or like, there are
yeah,
splits and things, but like almost unintentionally too, just in the way that like ideas get bounced around and like I don't know, like it just feels like you're really part of something, and that for me at least makes me want to keep going, makes me want to keep like making music that can be a part of Def Pop.
yeah. Like
It's a wonderful
that's a
place.
yes. Def Pop is a we're very kind-hearted people. But if this is only gonna be like one of the only times I break character. Like I don't even know if I break character because I don't play a character when I'm online, but I notice I'm more like abrasive and like outwardly like super fucking unchill. So I guess this is sort of like one of the times where I'm like normal. If I say some shit or if I've said some shit to you online that's like out of pocket, I'm sorry. I'm normal, I swear. Um
Sarah is normal.
yeah, yeah, just put that in like big bold letters on this part of the podcast. I am
Sarah
normal.
is normal. No, not a
I'm
podcast. Hold on.
sorry, interview,
Hold on.
sorry. Interview,
No,
sorry.
I was thinking that a few hours ago because I was like, fuck, did I like accidentally create a podcast?
No,
I
no, no, no.
don't I don't think it is, and I'm gonna try to take preventative measures to make sure it's
Yeah.
not.
I meant in
Yeah.
at an interview, yeah.
I
This
don't actually care. You're fine. You were talking about being normal.
oh yeah, I am very normal. I'm very normal.
Okay.
Yes.
um so with Def Pop, one of also the cool things that I think makes it more community like for at least me is it's I don't know if predominantly is the right word because I don't exactly have statistics on it or something like that. But a lot
Yeah.
of the people in it and involved with it are trans or queer one way or another.
Yeah.
Was
It is
this
a
ever a goal of yours or the three
um
founders setting it up, or does it just kind of coincidentally happen with like the music you're making and the online presence and all that?
I mean I guess it just sort of happened. like I don't know. I have no problem with like if like cis people are like I don't know. I have no problem with like cis people and like if they want to like join Death Pop. It's always been about the music to me, but it just seems like lyrically a lot of artists on Death Pop talk about like the queer experience, whether it be like good or bad or like, anyway. And so I guess it just sort of happened like I don't know, a lot of queer people gravitate towards our shit. I don't know. It's great. I'm very happy that we've been I'm very happy that I've been able to make a space where queer people feel like they're a part of something, especially when it involves like art and making weird shit. And yeah, I don't know. I guess it just sort of happened. It wasn't really by design. Even though all the three co-founders, like me, Sam, and Summer, happen to be trans femme.
It's a cool thing. It's kind of I don't know. That pop is kind of too good to be true right now, at least to me as somebody a part of it. It feels really nice to be a part of it. Also being
Yeah.
trans myself, it's just I don't know. It's a wonderful space. Whether like all that happening was intentional or not, I'm very thankful for it, and I'm
Yeah.
happy that I get to be along for the ride in a way.
Yes. Def Pop will go down in history as one of the gayest DIY labels of all time.
That pop is wicked gay.
Well, yeah, we'll put on a sticker. Def Pop the Wicked Gay.
Okay, so rounded down to the last couple questions. I was wondering, so like I see that you've played some shows. You played like one or two, right? Or am I missing something?
Yeah, I've played like a few shows.
Cool. Are you part of like a local music scene, would you say at all?
I guess I wouldn't really say so, no. I'm in Martinez, California, and Martinez is it's I don't know. Martinez, I don't think has a music scene. I think there are people here who make music, but I feel like it's very scattered and like I don't know. It's not really much of a scene as it is like I don't know. Some people just make music here, and so I guess I just sort of look more outward for like a music scene to be a part of, and I don't know. I've sort of found that in a way at 94 Gilman, Gilman and Berkeley, and 94 Gilman's really cool. Uh, I I don't know. I've met a few people there that are like locals who are like who make like really cool music, and I want to get involved in like a local scene, but it's just like I'm super socially inept, and I feel like I don't know. I'm very bad at talking to people and making myself seem like not an insane person. So I guess it's just sort of like so I guess most
Sarah
of that
is normal.
I'll wear like one of those hats that like what are those like hats that say like please be patient, I have autism, but it's just like please be patient, I'm normal, I swear. I'm not also I'm not saying that autistic people can't be normal. I want to say that I love
Yeah,
autistic people. Please,
absolutely.
if you're autistic and you listen to my music, cool. Thank you.
How could you dislike autistic people and make death up?
Yeah, it's
That
literally
would
like
make no sense.
yeah. It's kind of like it's like how can you can't like be in death pop and also be transphobic or homophobic or like any sort of like shithead.
Yeah, it'd be pretty hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, local scenes can be tricky like that. I get that though. What were the places you were mentioning earlier? Were those like venues or something like that? Or
Oh yeah. I mean the main place I go for like shows is 924 Gilman, which is in Berkeley, and they're like volunteer ran, so it's I don't know, like you can show up to shows like an hour earlier and volunteer to like do door or cash box or like to help clean up around the place. And I don't know, I have been trying to get more into volunteering and shit. I don't know, just it's cool to see it's cool to just be around other people that like music and like the local want to be a part of like the local music scene and it's cool. And I don't know, I get to see a lot of like shows for free, which is cool. I get to see a lot of cool shit. Like I think the last show I went through there was it was Home is Where, and it was the Home is Where Awake But Still in Bed and Your Arms by Cocoon show. And it was
Oh
yeah, it
wow.
was yeah, it was very, very cool. Even yeah, it was very, very cool. And I'm so glad I got to be there. And yeah, I guess it's just sort of that. I guess I haven't really seen shows in any other places that are like local, I guess. Well, not like in that, not like 924 Gilman or it's like volunteer around. I've seen like I've been to other venues and shit, but yeah, I guess mainly 924 Gilman right now is like the place I usually go. And I mean I've played at like someone's the first show I played was at someone's house, and
It
that
looked
show
like a backyard show or something like that.
yeah, I think my friend Aubrey tagged me in a post a while ago. Shout out Aubrey. But yeah, I played in someone's backyard. It was the drummer for the other band I was playing with, and I'm pretty sure that drummer now hates me because short tangent. Uh, I said in every practice like, is it fine if I go up like while before I perform my set and like say like I'll give anyone $100 if they want to shoot me in the head right now, and like the drummer was like super like they were like please do not say that, and so I said okay I won't say that, and then the day of the performance comes I didn't know I was gonna say it I was planning not to, and then yeah, and then it was, oh yeah, the show was at the drummer's house, by the way. That was the house of the drummer. And
Oh,
like, that adds another level of shit fuck to it, where it's like, so yeah,
that does add some important context.
yeah, so then I don't know, I was going up, I was plugging my shit in, and then sometimes I just say shit and it just runs out of my mouth, and I don't, like, I do it unconsciously. So I said unconsciously, hey, I'll give $100 to the first person who shoots me in the head right now. And then I just played my set. And I don't know, I wasn't like, I guess that's how I would describe most of my like shows when I'm performing. Like, I'm trying to play a good show that like people like, but I'm also trying to be funny with like I don't know. I don't want people to just like stand there uncomfortably and just watch me like break down for like an hour. I I don't know. I guess if people mosh and I've never had someone mosh at my show yet, which is I don't know. I guess it's mainly more for like bands because they like there's more energy in like seeing an actual live drummer than just like backing tracks. But um
Yeah, there's definitely some truth to that. It is, I've noticed, like being someone who like poorly wrote so far, it's only been drum machine, and I've played a lot of other music, live drummers, and it's notably a lot easier to get people moving once you have like an actual live drummer, which
yeah.
I couldn't tell you why, but it makes sense. I don't know.
But yeah, I guess but yeah, no one's really mosh setting in my shows, which I mean is it's fine. I don't know. I don't know what I would do if people did. That would be very weird for me. Not that I have like a problem with moshing, like I don't know. I don't have a problem with moshing, but a lot of my music's not very like something you could mosh to, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got like danceable music, but I wouldn't say it makes me want to be
Yeah.
aggressive, you know?
Yeah, like let's mosh to fucking My Future. Great song to mosh to, guys. My
Right. God,
Future.
do you do that live?
No, fuck no. I will never do.
Jesus.
Yeah, no. If I did My Future live, I would be in jail. Or I would get 5150 live on stage. Yeah, no. I have not actually done any making more consistent spiral shit live yet, but I do want to like fix my set list to add more like recent stuff. Like I want to a lot of the shit I make for like live sets are new because I genuinely forget how to play my old songs. Like
Hmm.
I don't know, like I do want to start playing more shit from like Smoke Stars and like I don't know. I do a lot of people seem to like the knife a lot, which is very
I
I
was gonna recommend that. That's gotta you want people to dance a little bit. I think that's a very dancey one.
yeah, I sort of expected the knife to be like the big one because it was like I don't know, it's a lot more like immediately like it's a lot more immediate than the other shit on that album. And yeah, I guess I want to add like the knife for like some more shit off of making a more consistent spiral. And a lot of the LP2 stuff is really weird to play because I make all of my songs nowadays, I make them into parts. I go into my DAW and I make one part of a song, and then I go into another, and then I save that, I go into another thing, like a new project, and I make another part of the song, and I just sort of stitch them together. So I guess, I don't know, maybe I'll learn how to play them as like one sort of like in one go. But for the most part, a lot of the songs I play, a lot of the songs I record are recorded in like different parts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a challenge I'm running into with Poorly Wrote and all that. But yeah, that's just solo projects. I feel like it's difficult to It's difficult to like because you don't want to like limit yourself creatively, you know. But like
Yeah.
that does make it challenging. Like I got like three guitar parts playing at once. Like I do that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just sort of like one of these days I'll probably get like a looper pedal, but uh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so coming around to the last question.
Yes.
If you could go back in time and tell your younger self one thing, knowing what you know now, what would that thing be?
Kill yourself.
No,
No.
let's try
Okay.
again.
Again. Okay. I guess I would say this shit works out apparently. Like, don't try to be Will Toledo. Don't try too hard to be Sam Ray. Just do your weird shit you're doing right now because eventually it works. Um, Also protect yourself from Gustavo from Ginger Bee.
Hmm.
You don't know who that is yet. You don't know what the fuck a Ginger Bee is, but just know that if a man called Gustavo comes up to you, just walk away. I wish I knew that, but I didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Hindsight is 2020, I guess.
yeah, in hindsight, it's
BMO
yeah,
isn't as friendly as it seems.
yeah, all for fifth wave is a fucking bloodbath.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you wanna plug, shout out, talk
Um,
about before we
yeah,
say?
yeah, I guess shout out Death Pop Records, shout out Sam, shout out Summer, shout out Myth, shout out shout out Chris, shout out everyone in the Death Pop community. Shout out Maxwell Whitaker. He's pretty cool. Shout out all my like Instagram people that like my shit on Instagram, so cool. Shout out to shout out this rapper for a chocolate bar on my counter. Shout out shout out to all the people that I stole music from because all my music is Ghost Funeral. Um,
True.
yeah. Shout out my mom. Mom's cool. Love my mom. Uh, shout out shout out to the fifth wave scene for being pretty chill. Except for the parts that aren't chill and the people who aren't chill. You know who you are. Fuck you. Uh, I'm gonna start some shit with that. But I probably shouldn't say. But yeah, shout out to yeah. I guess uh, if you listen to my music, thank you. It means so much more to me than I can ever. I will. It's I don't know. I always see I. It always seems like when I type it on Instagram, I can't get across how much it means that like people like my shit. I literally can't put it into words.
I
It's
feel that.
yeah, like it's something that I will never be able to truly express like how much it means to me that people not only like sat through my shit but also found something enjoyable out of it. And I don't know, I guess but yes, thank you for listening to my music. And yeah, I guess stay tuned for LP2 if it's going to be a lot. So take it take Advil, take your meds.
Sarah, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. This was a lot of fun, and got a lot out of it. It was very
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you, Ashley, from Poorly Wrote Suicide Note and Fentanyl Tapper Tester. Is it tester or tapper?
Fentanyl tap water, like
Fucking Christ. I'm so
yeah.
sorry.
No, no, you're
I
fine.
knew it was something tap. I knew it was fentanyl like tap something.
We
Yeah.
we live in the Rust Belt, and the water is bad here.
Yeah. Shout out Rochester, New York.
Don't actually, yeah. Shout out Rochester.
Uh, I
I'm
mean,
kidding.
I only know two things from New York now. Toilet Road Suicide Note and Oolong. And I accidentally hugged the singer from Oolong once and it was really awkward. But that's another
Ooh,
story.
isn't Oolong from New Jersey?
Are
No,
there?
Ogbert's from New Jersey. Oolong's from
Yeah.
New York. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oolong's cool.
Yeah,
But
Oolong's
yeah,
cool.
but yes, thank you.
Yes, of course.